Right, this is a road test video for a Honda Accord. This is the 2.2 Dtec EX automatic. The car is registered DA09XGX and the mileage at the start of the recording is 57,097 miles. Basically it's going to be about 5 or 6 miles just to show the car driving. Unfortunately it's a filthy horrible day today, but I can't do anything about that. This is, as it says, this is an EX version, so it's top of the range. It's also been fitted with some upgraded alloys which can be seen on the walk around video which has already been done on the car. The car drives really nicely. Incredibly solid. There's no squeaks, rattles. You just don't get them in these cars, even with big mileages on them. But EX, as I said, is top of the range. So as you can see on the camera, you've got the big screen sat-nav system. Integrated into that is a very clear parking camera. But on top of that, you've got electric memory seats, heated seats, cruise control, front and rear parking sensors, multi-disc CD. The list goes on and on. It's a very high spec car. But what's lovely about it is the combination of the auto and the diesel. It just works so well. Sometimes you get these things together and for whatever reason it just doesn't quite click. It doesn't quite work. You find that the engine's a bit sluggish, doesn't respond. Whereas this is really good. I mean, it's a very strong gearbox in the car. It originates from the Honda Legend, and they used it because it's just, to take the torque of the diesel. They decided they wanted sort of slightly overkill on the engineering side, but as it works together, it's just a really strong, smooth, quiet diesel, but just a very smooth shifting diesel, and it just responds really quickly. So if you just go to overtake, you're just pootling around, it's an absolute joy to drive. You can use as well, if you so wish, just use it in like normal mode, but if you go into overtake, there's paddles on the steering wheel here, plus and minus, so you can control the gears you're in. So now I'm in 3rd gear, and they'll hold me in that gear until I decide I want to change up into 4th or 5th as I'm doing now, and it'll revert very quickly straight away, as you can see there, back to automatic mode. So coming on to some A roads now. I think the most noticeable difference between this and the previous generation Accord is probably just how precise the steering is. It seems to corner a fair bit flatter than the old car, which was still a hell of a good car. It's a fraction quieter than the old one, but you've got a much more modern interior. But in terms of kind of what you're looking at when you're looking at a used one, the things you want to watch for clearly are things like any slop or movement in any of the suspension joints. The braking, is it good and strong? Well, I can't find any noticeable slack in the car anywhere. The steering is really precise, as I said. The brakes are incredibly strong. The engine pulls exactly as it should. There's no strange noises, no whistling from the turbo. It'd be very hard to find fault with the car. 60 miles an hour there. You can see the steering wheels, there's no shakes or wobbles on there whatsoever. Track's absolutely bullet straight. Worth pointing out again that the Honda Dtec engine has a really enviable reputation for its longevity and reliability. We just haven't really had any issues with any of them. And as with all these later generation Honda engines, they run cam chains, so there's no belt change to factor into the ownership of the car. Accelerate quite hard away. You can see it really does pull really sweet. It's very quiet. This is quite a good example. There's a tractor in front there because obviously I'm in automatic mode. Normally you'd have to kick down. Actually, he's going to turn right now, so that's spoiled my fun. But I'll just try and show you. So you have to kind of pretend. If I undertake now, I've selected second gear. I'm holding it. I'm choosing when to change gear, and I'm doing it all. So it just makes overtaking more controllable. Whereas an automatic quite often wants to select the highest gear possible, and that can leave you sort of floundering around or in between two gears. But back to the car. I mean, I've had a couple of these, and in terms of if you're going to be doing lots of miles, it's a really great place to sit. Everything around you, the layout of the switches. There's no, I really can't personally get on with these big iDrive things. Even just to sort of change radio channels and change the temperature, you've got to mess around with them. On the Honda here, you can just press a button and you do it. The only big switch is here for the navigation system, which is brilliant. It's just incredibly simple. And then you've got a multifunction steering wheel here, which is really nice laid out. Audio on this side, cruise control on this side with information, and then activation for your Bluetooth telephone system here, and behind those the voice activation for secondary functions. So I mean, it's just a nice simple layout. It's stylish in its own right, but beauty design eye of the beholder. But it's just beautifully manufactured. So if you're coming to have a drive, there's been no hidden horrors. You're not going to jump in the car and find out there's something wrong with the car. It drives exactly as it should.